It's been a while, and what you're looking at is the green machine. This is the XR400, which is actually finally running. I've had a lot of delays. I got this bike in July, and it's been actually months waiting for this part, that part, and all that kind of thing. You don't see too many green XRs. Honda's traditionally white and red. But I wanted to switch it up a little bit only because the plastics are really, they're 24 years old or whatever. So they're really scratched up, beat up. The bike really needs new plastics. So I said, let's play with it a little bit. And I turned it into a green bike. Anyway, what did we do to it? When I first got it home, it wasn't starting very well. So I pulled the carb apart. It was filthy, blah, blah, blah. We went through the whole carb. We rejetted it. It had too large of jets in it, really, because previous owner opened the pipe wide open and did some mods. So we knocked it down to like 160 and 60 for jets in the carby. Then I didn't have a spark, so we had to investigate that. And this bike is a dual sport. It's plated, so I had issues, electrical issues. Turn signals wouldn't work. This wouldn't work. Yada yada yada. And you know how much fun electrical gremlins are. So we updated the stator. It has a Ricky stator, 200 watt in it. That was pretty easy, plug and play. I did have some problems with the oil leak on the cover. I had to take it out again, put another cover in, didn't put any sealant or any Permatex or any of that shit in there, and now it took care of that. I have two small lithium batteries under the seat. One leg of the stator runs the bike's, ignition, and as well as the dual sport lights. The other 100 watt leg is going to its. It has actually two regulator rectifiers. The other leg is running just this USB on my handlebars, which will do GPS, and it's got enough if I want to upgrade down the road to a better headlight, because the stock headlights on these, you might as well just have a kerosene lamp. It's pretty rough. I don't really ride much at night anyway, so it's not a big issue. I'm still waiting for a rack because I'm going to put soft panniers on this bike. And from experience before with running without a rack, I've already burned up one saddlebag from the muffler. So I'm going to get a proper rack for it. I've just been waiting for one overseas. It's taken forever. I've got new tires for it. These are Pirelli's M21s, I think, on both front and rear. They still have tread, but they're old. So we're going to upgrade those. We already upgraded to larger foot pegs. We put new seat foam in, new seat cover. We went with the IMS 3-gallon tank. I didn't change the bars. These bars are old, but they're fine. The bark busters are old, but they're fine. I'm not trying to make this a trophy bike. It's just sort of a learning curve because it's such a tall bike. I'm used to the old XT over here, which spoils you at like 32-inch seat height, and then you jump up to the Big Bear here, which is like 36 and a half. It's tall, and I'm not short. I'm 5'11", and I'm still on my tiptoes. And it's an adjustment just to kick this bitch because I haven't had a kickstart bike in a millennium, in a long time. But the key to these, if anybody really knows, if your carb is clean, your valves are adjusted, it shouldn't be that hard to kick it, and it's not. It's just when it's so tall, and especially if you're on a hill or something, that's going to probably be a little a little difficult sometimes, but I'm not really doing anything too gnarly on this bike, although it's an excellent trail bike. I'm more comfortable if I'm lower to the ground, if I'm doing anything a little more technical than just the gravel roads. But I'm going to give it some time and see, if I really like it. If the height of the bike bothers me, well, by then this bike's going to be pretty sorted out. And these bikes have sort of a cult following. They're very desirable. They really eat the trails up. This is a tractor monster. I'm going to change probably the gearing because prior owner put a 16 front sprocket, and the only thing I can think of is he wanted, higher highway speeds. But I'm going to knock it down to a 15, which is stock 1545. And I know a lot of people run a 14 on the front. Then it's a super wheelie machine. But I'm not. I just think 16 on the front is probably, not really where I want to be. I'm not doing a lot of super highway miles on it, So I don't really care about. I don't have to go 80 miles an hour. I don't want to go 80 miles an hour on any thumper. But yeah, that's where we are. And I think if I put the stock sprocket or a smaller sprocket back on the front, I'll be able to put my chain guard on. This is a 16 tooth, like I said before, and it will not allow the stock chain sort of guard to put on. That's why that is the way it is. And what else? Yeah, I'm just fooling with it. And like I said, I got all of the lights dialed in. Everything works as far as the dual sport. I thought about putting one of those Trail Tech Speedos on it and everything, but like I said, I'm not trying to turn this into an adventure bike. I put just a normal Speedo on it, not really to worry about how fast I'm going. I like to keep track of the miles for oil changes, maintenance, stuff like that. So yeah, that's the green machine. So hopefully we're going to get this out and experiment a little bit on some dirt and gravel, and we'll go from there. What else can I tell you? Oh, this bike does have a big bore kit. I believe it's like a 440 or something. That was done about 8 years ago. So it doesn't leak, or it doesn't really burn much oil. So I'm the kind of person that if everything is okay, I don't just start taking shit apart for no reason. You can go crazy with all kinds of Farkles and all kinds of stuff, but, I did put a new CDI box on, too. So I got a new CDI box, I got a new coil, and I got a new stator. It's like, it's gotta work, So, yeah, electrical is all figured out. And when I first got it, I didn't realize it, that to turn your ignition on, you really got to turn your running lights on. That turns your ignition on, because usually these bikes just have a kill switch on the handlebar. Well, that's done away with the dual sport kit. This is a Baja Designs dual sport kits. They do not make anymore. I think your only choice now is like Tusk makes a dual sport kit. But yeah, so I didn't realize that you had to turn the lights on in order to give ignition. Duh, but I have it, trial and error. You learn from your mistakes, right? Yeah, so it's a new little toy. It's a tall damn toy, let's say that, I had a riding buddy when I was in California. Brian was a short guy, well, I'm not picking on short people, but he was like 5'6", 5'7", and he rode one of these, and he used to always, get razzled when people would say, oh, it's too tall. He says, I'm a midget, and I ride it just fine. But, it's what you get used to, I guess. So that's the first look, and we're going to get it out and see how it performs. I'm going to actually take it to town right now and get some gas. I haven't really had any real shakedown rides. It's like just driving around here because I live on dirt roads. And I did put like a new shifter on it, a Tusk shifter, but the thing turned out to be garbage because it would not tighten on the spindle, and I didn't want to screw up the threads out of the shaft that goes into the gearbox. So I put the old Honda shifter on. It looks like hell, but it's a better unit, so I may break down and buy an OEM shifter because sometimes some of this aftermarket shit is just it's not good. So I wasn't happy with the Tusk shifter because no matter how much I torqued down on the nut, it wouldn't tighten up on the shaft, and I didn't want to strip the nut on. I didn't want more of a problem. So that's just hanging up for lawn art in the shop, and I went back to the original shifter, and I'll probably get a new shifter because this one is just sort of bent and seen better days. But yeah, that's the green guy. So we'll be getting out there. It's starting to be perfect riding weather. Okay, and of course the little baby brother over there is the old XT. I had to put a new brake cam lever on this bad boy because that was the previous owner who had it boogered up this thing here. He used a punch or something and hit this brake lever so hard that you couldn't get the normal bolt to go. It was all jacked up. So I had to wait. I actually found the parts quicker from a place out of Indonesia because all the OEM suppliers, we don't have it. We don't even have a date when it's coming in. It's like I'm not waiting 5 months for. So a little investigation, I found one overseas, and 2 weeks later I have it. So that little project was done. Okay, I'll shut up. That's the green machine. Over and out.